Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to the videos of the paid request, and this is for Abigail, the 2024 film that came out not too long ago. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, PayPal is usually the best bet, or join my Patreon. Both links are down below. Well, I guess now it's over there, or wherever it is. Like, they changed it. It was down there, now I think it's over there, or wherever the hell is that now. But this is directed by Radio Silence, which did Ready or Not, which I didn't mind, but they also did Stream 5 and 6, which I did mind a lot. It stars Melissa Barrera, who was in Stream 5 and 6. You have Dan Stevens, who I do like as an actor. The setup of the film is you have about 6 criminals, and they kidnap this little girl for ransom. So they kidnap her, they bring her back to this place where Giancarlo Esposito, who's in The Mandalorian recently, I always remember him as the guy that got electrocuted by the arcade machine in Maximum Overdrive. He's their handler. He mentions, you guys stay here, wait for a bit, and I'll get the money. He leaves. The 6 criminals are there in this mansion. And it is a slow burn. It is a fairly slow burn. That I thought, for the most part, other than some moments from Dan Stevens, was boring as hell. I don't want to say this right off the bat. I'm not a fan of this movie. I thought this film kind of sucked. I'm not going to lie. Because it just was very uneventful. There's so many other vampire films I could look at that, yeah, there are ones that are worse. Is that the worst film ever? No. But there's others I thought were much, much better. Whether it be the original Fright Night 2, From Dusk Till Dawn, Renfield. Even Renfield, a year or two ago, I had much more fun with than this. The Bloods... I always bad. Blood Sky. The one with the vampire on the airplane. I know not everyone liked it, but I very much enjoyed it. Where it was like a lady with their, like, kid or daughter, and like they're on a plane, and there's like bad guys take over the plane, and then she fights the bad guys on the plane. I liked that quite a bit. I thought that was actually pretty good and more unique compared to this. And in Renfield, I had fun with. Don't like Aquafina. I like the water, but not the girl. Speaking of water, there's some Aquafina there. But just that most of the characters, they're not really that likable. I mean, they're criminals, of course. Even the one that we're supposed to like, Melissa Barrera, I don't think she's that good of an actress. She wasn't good in Stream 5 and 6. She wasn't good here. She has a personality. See this table? Yeah, you don't see it, you hear it. You can't see nothing, there's nothing there. There's not much personality to her. I think she's fairly wooden of an actress. I just, you can't find much good actors or actresses nowadays. Dan Stevens I liked as an actor. He's the closest I got to a character. The character is unlikable, but at least his acting I don't mind, and he got some chuckles out of me from his behavior certain times. But like I said, the first, I don't know, first half of the movie is they grab the girl, they bring her back, they hang around, and there's literally a scene that the movie stops so Melissa Barrera can literally explain to the audience, you're this person, you're this kind of person, you're this kind of person, you're this kind of person. Like, the laziest way to utilize exposition is literally to stop everything and have the girl who knows everything, she's a medic, they know she was a psychiatrist, but she's a medic, but I know who you are, you're this kind of person, you're this kind of person. So you have Melissa Barrera, who is the medic of the group, and her stories that she had this kid, and she hasn't seen the kid in a long time, so she feels like she's abandoned her kid. You have Dan Stevens, who is a former cop. You have this other girl who's a hacker who's a bit too nosy on things and questioning things, like trying, like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? She looks like she hasn't seen a whole lot of the real world. You have the driver who's kooky and weird and is talking in this type of voice where I don't even know how the hell to describe his voice. Like he's high, probably because the character is supposed to be high, but he still talks like he's high the whole damn time. Hey, how's it going? What's going on here, man? Like Mr. Mumbles. He said, Mr. Mumbles, do you take the marbles out of your mouth, or is that a dick in your mouth? Is a cocaine lace dick in your mouth? Can you take it out, please, so I can understand what you're saying, Mr. Mumbles? Thank God he's the first to die. Get the hell out of here. So the ransom's for $50 million. Oh yeah, that driver, he thinks he's urban. He thinks he's black and stuff with the way he talks. Mr. Mumbles. Again, Melissa, she explains each character one by one. Oh, Miss Hacker, you doing this for the kicks? Oh, there's another guy, Sniper, he's military. There's another guy who's like a bitter guy, but he's pretty dim bulb, so to speak. Not the sharpest tool in the shed. Melissa Barrera chats with the little girl, finds out she's the daughter of this guy who's this crime boss. A lot of people are freaked out. They figure maybe we should get the hell out of here. One thing leads to another. The place closes down. This driver guy, he sounded very, very... I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stab you. One of the more memorable things to me is the hacker lady watching Woody Woodpecker. I'd rather watch that. That's the... You know that phrase, don't put a better movie in your movie? That's pretty sad when it's Woody Woodpecker that falls that category. So the driver wanders around, the driver gets attacked, they find him decapitated, and they think, oh, well, maybe it's this assassin, this killer that this crime boss has. And that's around the time they get trapped. And you find out that the little girl, is a vampire. She's a vampire. She allowed herself to get captured. Earlier in the film, she allowed herself to get a needle in her. And she allowed herself to get captured so all these people can converge. Because all these people had a handling with her father. Either the medic, she accidentally killed someone who was an important person working with and doing dealings with her father. Dan Stevens, you went undercover, but you liked it a bit too much. You're trying to go up against my father. Each person had the hacker stole money, and someone was related to the girl's father. So they're all involved in order to get punished. You're all trapped here. This girl wants to have her fun. She likes ballerina stuff, so there'll be times she'll do these ballerina moves that go to someone. And so because of that, like, you're not going to get much of a body count, because you only have like 6 people here, and the lead girl's not going to die, so that's 5 potential victims pretty much. So it's not going to be like this wall-to-wall bit. There is blood in it. There's a couple blood explosions. But it's not going to be the bloodiest film you've seen. The story, I don't think, was that engaging because I don't care about these 6 criminals. Why do I care? I think Melissa Barrera, like, they try to make us care about her daughter and she abandoned whatever, but I still didn't care. Whether because the actress, I think, wasn't that great, or because her character, I thought, was too thinly written for the role, or there's just nothing personality-wise. Again, the guy that showed a little bit of personality was Dan Stevens, but he's like the guy who's supposed to like the least of the group. And there's not a whole lot of action. There's not a whole lot of suspense. It's not scary. So, of the 5 people left since that guy got decapitated and they found him, spoiler alert, the sniper gets killed. Which, I mean, it was a waste to have a sniper character because he does nothing. If you think, oh, he's going to get a weapon and try to snipe the vampire, and he's trying to snipe the vampire, but it's too quick. And he's trying to use his skills of hearing, but it's just vampire's too quick and he keeps missing. No, that never comes into play. So it makes you go, why even have a sniper character in the first place? He gets killed. Our lead character, Melissa, because I forget the character's name, so I'm saying her real name. She finds the sniper, and I don't know, it's not the best effect. It's there. It's kind of like a little bit of his cheek, a little bit of his neck is screwed up. I don't think it was that impressive looking. And now there's 4 left. The hacker, Dan Stevens, the lead, and the big guy who's dimwitted. Which I know that actor has done stuff, and I can't remember his name though, but I know I've seen him in a bunch of other stuff. And once in a while, he got a chuck on me with his stupidity. Once in a while. But like little moments from him and little moments from Dan Stevens was not enough for the movie for me. Because the vampire ballerina, sometimes she would do these overdone poses because she's a ballerina. It just seemed more goofy than anything. I know that's probably the point. But I just didn't find it funny. I just found it stupid. I just found it dumb. There's a bit where 3 of the 4, they try to fight with garlic and crosses. It doesn't work. That's one of the bits Dan Stevens did make me chuckle. Where he's talking to the hackers like, those are not garlic. Those are fucking onions. Okay? These are onions, not garlic. But she beats him pretty quickly. And the vampire ballerina does these posers. They just look stupid, look goofy. Now it's funny because it gets to a point where the big guy is able to hold the vampire down. Now we see that she's so powerful she can take one hand, throw a guy, and he like flies through a mirror or something or over a counter. But this guy, regular guy, can overpower and hold her down. I'm like, it's a vampire. We've seen how tough she can be. There's literally times like a steel door, she kicks it down in one tick when she pretends to be trapped in this cage later on. Like, she could do that, but this guy overpowers her and she can't get the hell out. And also, apparently, vampires, they could be sedated. Granted, vampires don't exist, so who knows what can or can't happen with a vampire. So, you can't say, that's unrealistic. Vampires don't exist, so who knows what they can or can't do. So, yeah, any movie, you could change the... You could change it around, sure. It's just that when you're used to one sort of thing, when they do it, it catches you a bit off guard. But then you think, well, again, vampires don't exist, so these, they can be sedated. Which I'm thinking, okay, she's sedated, now cut her head off. They don't. I don't know why. Cut her head off. No, they trap her in a cage because they want to ask questions. But the questions don't seem like, number one, you don't know if she's going to answer you. Number 2, it's not worth it asking these questions. I don't know if chopping her head off would kill her, but it'd be worth a damn try. She's sedated. Now cut her head off. Put some stakes in her heart. Something, anything. Put a stake through her heart. But they don't. They stupidly drug her and then they put her in a cage. And once that the hacker gets bit. Now granted, you just say some of the vampire stuff hasn't worked like garlic. But still, if someone gets bit, I'm going to be more cautious of them, just in case. Now the hacker keeps asking, am I going to change? Am I going to change? I'm like, I don't know, but until eternity, I'm watching you. But people stopped watching The Hacker. These are the point they split up and like the hacker goes. I'm like, no, I'm not going anywhere with you and you alone. You got bit by a vampire. I don't care. Maybe it takes an hour. Maybe it takes 2 hours. Or maybe it takes 2 days. I'm not being near you, lady. You get the hell away from me. Put her in a cage. That's the thing. I like find another thing and lock her in. Fine. If it's a couple days and you're fine, then okay, good. Or as sunlight comes and you're fine, then it's good. But you're staying in there. They don't tie like the hacker. They don't tie her up. They don't put her in any other cages or anything else they have. They don't. They just leave her the hell alone. She got bit by a vampire. Like, and you all saw it. I get it. Like, there's some things that don't, but this could be the thing that works, and you guys are not trepidatious about that. You stupid idiots. So then they put the little girl in a cage, and the remaining four asked her, and the hacker siphoned money. The big guy stole money. The cop infiltrated but liked the lifestyle. The medic nicked an artery and made someone bleed out that the crime boss didn't like. So they're trying to find a way out. The other three, the hacker lady and the big guy, they go off together. So lo and behold, the hacker girl bites and kills the big guy. Big surprise. And then there were three. And this looked goofy too. The girl like control and then do like dances. And then the possessed girl, hacker, is doing dances. I'm like, okay, is this a movie or is this trying to be a shitty music video? Doing this, and the girl's doing this, and then she's doing this, and doing these ballerina poses, so it does ballerina poses, and I'm like, okay, if this is meant to be funny, I'm not laughing. It just comes off as stupid. It comes off as dumb. It's to show she's being controlled. Then you have the little girl sitting there, open her eyes, and then cut to the hacker girl open her eyes, and then the little girl do this, and then the hacker girl do this, and go through the stages of killing the person. That right there would sell you on without this goofy dance crap, ballerina crap. And then Dan Stevens and Melissa, there's the hacker girl. She gets blown up. There's only two left. The little girl, she's able to kick out of the steel door. Granted, I'm thinking, why didn't you do this sooner? But as she says, she likes to play with her food. Giancarlo Esposito shows up. He was a vampire been long ago and offers Dan Stevens a deal. Dan Stevens takes the deal. But of course, Giancarlo Esposito's too stupid to think, hey, maybe Dan could screw you over. Thus, Dan stabs you in the back. And Dan Stevens, at times, he does look a little bit like Bill Paxton from Near Dark. And like I said, his acting, because I like the actor, is one of the points I do like about the film, but can't save it for me. Dan Stevens bites Abigail, bleeds her out a bit. Then the little girl begs Melissa for help, and I'm thinking, you tried to kill me. I'm like, I should be helping kill you. So then, but no, instead decides to help her. Dan Stevens battles both. Dan Stevens at one point bites our lead girl, tries to control her but can't. And apparently because if you're a vampire but you don't know how it works, if you bite someone, you can't turn them into a vampire? Or at least don't know how to control them. Because our lead girl does get bit by this vampire, but I don't know if it was because he didn't know how to do that right, So if you're a vampire that don't know how to do it, you could bite someone, but they won't turn to a vampire. Or it's that maybe because the guy died, and then maybe you're. I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like a lot of others, like the Lost Boys. Why is it that if you kill the head vampire, now you're cured? Because if you think a vampire, if it's like a virus, then you're not going to be cured because this guy's dead. So I guess that's the thing with all these vampires. They always have these rules, and you always got to try to, okay, what's the rules of your movie? On The Lost Boys, you kill a head vampire, and then you're cured. Why? Because. Tough. Deal with it. It is what it is. So you just got to, roll with it. So here it's like, you could bite someone, but if you, again, I don't know. It's either they said, I don't know if it's because he bit her, but he doesn't know how to do it. I know he didn't know how to control her because he's not used to it, but whatever. Also, the two fight Dan Stevens. They're able to kill him. The little girl's father shows up. The little girl protects because hey, this girl helped me, so I'm going to protect her. They let Melissa go, and the movie's over. And again, it's just, I don't think it's as clever as witty as it thinks it is. I would say Ready or Not was a bit better on that front. There's really not much in terms of action that's memorable, vampire-wise or not. There's a couple people that explode, so you do get some bloodshed, but there's many other films that have done more with that, or at least with creativity. Hell, From Dusk Till Dawn, tons of others blew up. The band blew up. And they all blew up. So, hell, a lot more blew up in From Dusk Till Dawn. So I did watch that, and that has a lot more to it. It's just that the little girl, when she's doing the ballerina moves, got on my nerves. The characters, I didn't, even Melissa Barrera, I know she's supposed to be the decent criminal. Like when they first, hey, you didn't tell me it was a girl. She didn't know it was a little girl they were kidnapping. So if it was a little girl, you'd be fine for kidnapping. If it was like me and I'm innocent, you'd be fine with it. Oh, it's some redneck. He didn't do anything wrong, but that's good. Kidnap his ass. So I guess if it was me, she'd be fine. But because it's a little girl, then she's not fine. I don't know. But it's like, I just don't care whether because the actress bores me to tears or just the character wasn't written to be that interesting to me or funny or personality filled or anything of the sort that I really gravitate towards her. Same with the other characters other than, again, the one big guy. His stupidity got some troubles. Dan Stevens, some of his acting moments, I thought he had the most personality of everybody. Again, it's a slow burn. It takes a long time for things to get going. And then when it does, I don't think it was really worth the wait. I think my friend Michael Keane, he talked about this film, and I think he said something interesting where if like the lead girl, like if the little girl was a vampire and like she was caught and like maybe, she doesn't want to hurt anybody. Yeah, she does feed on blood, but maybe she feeds on blood on animals or, that she blood banks. I don't want to kill people, but then she has to. And now it's her and her drive and she got into her killer instinct. She doesn't want to, but she has to, and she has the ability. So now it's a little girl going after these criminals. And with using her vampire ways. So it's kind of like a really deadly version of Home Alone, in a way, among other stuff. Where they have that expertise of killing, but she's got the vampire skills and the power, so it's like her dodging gunfire and her able to do these vampire things to overwhelm or outwit or outthink or outmaneuver the bad guys, the criminals. And then each one's like a different type of death scene and interesting vampiric bloody ways. Like, that would have been more interesting plot than what we got here. Okay, they're trapped in a place with a vampire. Okay? And? Well, the vampire's a little girl and she does ballerina moves. Okay? Ballerina moves that, look goofy as shit. If people like the film, that's fine. Again, I had more fun with Renfield. What was it, last year that came out? I had more fun with that movie compared to this. I mean, is it the worst? No, Dan Stevens got some moments on me, but I would ask, okay, if people like the film, fine. I would ask, what is it about the film to like? I mean, is it really that creative? Are the characters really that interesting or likable? Is the action that entertaining or memorable? Didn't feel like there was a lot of action. I'll tell you, it took a while for it to get going. At the end of the movie, literally had to stop and let me explain who each of you are, because I know everything. Sorry, not my cup of tea. Not the worst movie of the year. I mean, it's not close to being bad like Madam Web. That level of bad, but I would never see this film again. I have no reason to. So that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye for now.